Hello folks, this is Solo speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from a double up game. I'm playing here together with JDP El Grillo. And in this game, we're going to be looking at a different team setup that I haven't talked about yet, that being a Juggernauts team composition. This one's been a little bit under the radar, but is definitely playable. So we'll talk more about that as that goes on. And in set 9, we of course always begin with one of these portals. I was hoping we would not get the rupture, travel to a random location, because that could be anything. I was trying to pick the Noxus one, a hex that gives your characters items, but instead we're going to end up getting Warlord's Palace instead here. There it is. And this one basically just gives you a treasure dragon at the end of stage 4, for those who might remember set 7. So we've had this one before. I think it's actually even in one of the games that I put up on YouTube, we had this one. But yeah, so one of the relatively minor portals doesn't have a tremendous effect on the game overall. Okay, so we've been playing some double up games. This mode, of course, continues to be more fun. Most of the games I've been playing have been in the 2-player mode because I just enjoy it more than the single-player mode. And here on the initial minion round, I end up getting a Garen, and that's actually going to end up shaping my game because this was what gave me the idea of, oh, I have early Garen. Early Garen means I might want to play into a Juggernaut setup. So Garen's traits are Demacia plus Juggernaut. And while we're just going through the initial minion rounds here, I will just talk a little bit about what the Juggernaut trait does. It's relatively straightforward. Juggernaut champions take less damage as their health decreases. So they get damage reduction as their health goes down. They get more damage reduction. That starts from 15 to 25% at Juggernaut 2 and currently goes up to 35 to 50% damage reduction at Juggernaut 6. Now, there's been traits before in the past that have given damage reduction. That's always been kind of a problematic thing in the gameplay, is when when any trait gives damage reduction, it tends to cause some problems in the gameplay. Anyway, Grillo went ahead and sent me an early set, and that's actually going to allow me to play 2 Juggernaut, and then I can put in another champion for Ionia, have 2 Juggernaut, 3 Ionia in the early game. So I'm going to hold on to this Karma, which was my other 3-cost drop, and just go from there. As for Grillo, he was initially thinking he was going to play Void in this game, but he would end up pivoting in a different direction. That's why I had the Malzahar on my bench. All right, so out of these different options here, we have Slayer Heart, Pandora's items. This is where I'm supposed to get the Vlad augment, but it continues to be bugged here in double up mode. I end up taking red buff. Your unit's attacks burn the target for 8% of their maximum health over 8 seconds and reduce target's healing receipt. Oh wait, I thought I took the red. I thought I took the. I thought I took the red buff there. Whoops, I forgot. I ended up taking the champion duplicator one. And the logic for that one was that I thought I had actually taken red buff there. I misremembered that I actually took the champion duplicator. The logic there was I'm going to try to play through Garen and try to 3-star Garen. So if I'm going to do that, I might as well get the double champion duplicators anyway. I also, oh, never mind. So that's kind of funny. I ended up selling the Karma and then leveling and putting in Jin to get Ionia. But I think I forgot that Karma was also Ionia as well, so I could have just played her as well. Although it would have been more expensive to do so, to be fair. But yeah, I could have just played the Karma now that I'm watching this instead. I think that the round timer was about to run out, and so I was like, oh, I need an Ionia champion. I'm gonna toss in the Jin, who is of course also Ionia as well. But anyway, all right. So by the way, I ended up getting a ton of Aurelias, and it might have been useful to could have been useful to play into Aurelia 3-star, which would have been interesting. But Aurelia is not going to fit what I'm looking for here. She's a great early game unit, but she's not going to fit a Juggernauts board. Although, as you're going to see in this game, I actually don't end up getting very many Juggernauts, so maybe should have pivoted in another direction. As for Grillo, he is going to play into a Deadeye composition here. And so I picked up this action, and I believe I'm going to end up sending that to him relatively soon here. He is going to end up playing Deadeyes, which is another one, team composition that's pretty strong. It's another one of the AD setups in this set. The two kind of main AD, well, I guess I should say like backline ranged ADs are Deadeyes and also Gunners. Gunners are the ones that are a little more overpowered at the moment, but Deadeye is not bad either as far as being playable. Okay, so anyway, so far so good. We've been winning these initial rounds. I am trying to look at who the Juggernauts are here on my board and think about who I'm going to be looking to play. Yeah, and now I and now I switch into the Karma because I forgot about that. I've also picked up a Sona and a Poppy, and the logic for that is I want to put in Demacia. When I hit level 5, I will drop the Karma. There, by the way, there goes the action over to Grillo. These sends, you want to be good about using the sends here in double up mode. I talked about this in the last double up video I did. But the little thing that you send that allows you to send champions to your partner, it is different here. It was changed in set 8.5. You can no longer send items to your partner. You can only send champions. And the send goes on a timer when you use it. You get it back after 4 rounds initially. And then after stage 4 of the game, you can send 4 and 5 cost champions. Initially, you can only send 1, 2, and 3 cost champions. But after stage 4, you can send the 4 and 5 cost champions, and it goes, I believe, to a 7-round cooldown, so it takes longer. But there's really no reason not to send things because you do get it back, and having the thing just sit on your bench not doing anything is not really that helpful. So you might as well use those champion sends to get stuff to the other teams. Okay, so we've got another item carousel here. We have not lost a round yet. Another team has not lost a round yet, but they actually end up getting the tiebreaker here, which is a little bit annoying. So one of them is going to get second pick, whereas Grillo's not until third pick. This is the team that has double little legend chibi things, so they're definitely dropping some money on the game. And then here, what do I end up taking? I think I end up taking the glove. Yeah, I end up taking the glove. I was looking for a bow here, but when you're last pick, you're unlikely to get a bow. It's in very high demand in this current set. By the way, there's another Karma. So if I just held that earlier Karma, I could have had Karma 3-star, or not 3-star, Karma 2-star here. So yeah, I think I end up buying this one, but I could have had the 2-star Karma at this point. All right, anyway, so now I have Demacia trait in, and it's worth covering what that does because we're still very early in the set. Everybody's still trying to learn the traits. So Demacia is a trait that has a lot of different tiers, 3, 5, 7, and 9. For this game, I am not going vertical Demacia. I'm only going to look to play into Demacia 3. So Demacia does 2 things. It gives radiant items, and then it also causes the Demacian elite units to gain additional armor and magic resistance. So I'll go ahead and read this. Right now I have Demacia 3 in. At the start of each planning phase, a number of your strongest Demacians become elites, equipping a random radiant item until the next combat, giving themselves and nearby allies armor and magic resistance. Does not stack. So at Demacia 3, you have 1 elite. That's going to be Garen. And Garen himself and anyone who stands next to him gains 5 armor and 5 magic resistance. So when you play into higher ranks of the trait, you actually can end up getting large amounts of armor and MR. But here at just Demacia 3, it's pretty minimal, so I'm not going to make much of an effort to have everybody stand next to Garen. You can see he's a Demacian elite because he has a little crown next to his head. That's the symbol that he's going to be a Demacian elite. So he'll get that very minimal armor and MR benefit. But the downside to clumping probably is not worth it just for 5 armor, which is like whatever. All right, anyway, here, so the send has recharged for Grillo. He had a set in his store, so he just went ahead and sent me the set, so I now have set 2-star, which is going to make my board a bit better. Like I said, I sent him an action, and I will keep an eye out on the possibility to send him more, but like we were able to make a 2-star set, so that's going to help. Now, the problem is I'm up against this other team that has not lost yet, so they're on full win streak in the lobby, and I think I'd have a decent chance to beat this board in a 1v1, although it's a little bit tricky because they have a couple of 2-star units over there. But I do think that I win this round if it's just me against this person. The problem is their partner is going to be coming in here as well. Yep, I remember this from when we played this before. And yeah, with their partner coming in here 2v1, I'm not going to be able to win this. So Grillo hit this team on the previous round, and then I hit them this round. By the way, their partner is already level 6. So yeah, this is a team that knows what they're doing. They were on full win streak, and so aggressively leveling to 6 at the end of stage 2 just to try to preserve win streak. A very smart decision. But if you look at the team, yeah, this is the team we're worried about here right now. They have picked up a Bruiser emblem. They're playing 4 Bruiser, 5 Void, and it looks like they're going to go into a Void team composition. So we already know this team's going to be our main competition. One of them is going to be playing Void, and the other one is going to be playing Sorks. The other one got a Sorcerer's Heart, and presumably is going to go heavy into the Sorcerer trait for their setup. So we already know we're going to be competing with this team, and that's going to be the challenge for us. By the way, yet another Aurelia. I just saw nothing but Aurelias in this game for whatever reason. I also got multiple Callistas there, so if I were playing challengers, that would have been pretty good there. But I really wanted to test out this Juggernaut setup here, just because I thought it would be fun to experiment with this, which I haven't seen so far. In any case, right now I am playing through Garen. Garen is usually the main early and mid game carry for Juggernauts, and then if you can get into the late game and pick up Aatrox, Aatrox kind of becomes your other carry for this team composition. So just to cover how Garen works, I'll go ahead and read his ability description. It's officially called Judgment, but let's face it, this is spin to win. This is where he does his spinning thing. Spin 2 times every second for the next 4 seconds. Each spin deals physical damage to adjacent allies. So yeah, the basic idea is he's going to go into his spin and deal damage to everybody near him. And it is physical damage. By the way, here I am up against the person who's playing the Void? No, this is not one of the 2 people that's on the win streak. This is another Void player. So at least Void is being contested in the lobby by someone else. But yeah, that board is a lot weaker, and that team's already down to 57 health on stage 3-1. We're about to get another augment here, so let's go ahead and cover that. Yep, this other team is still on full win streak, which is not great. We know we're going to be competing with them. All right, so I have some different options here. Silver ticket, not golden ticket. Gain a Deathblade, champion holding Deathblade, a 50% chance to drop. No, that's definitely not what I want, not for this team composition here. Gain a training dummy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just take the generic battle ready. There's actually some good synergy here between this and the trait that I have, because the augment here, hold on, I'm just going to pull up the description because I went past it pretty quickly. So this is one of the Vlad augments. You're guaranteed to have it pop up if you're playing as Vlad. And battle ready means your team deals more damage and takes less damage. It's the gold version is deals 7% more damage, takes 7% less damage. So, you know, that's just generically solid in all situations, which is one of the reasons why it's good. I like taking the Vlad one right now. These augments are statistically performing quite well. And, you know, if none of the other augments look good, you can always fall back on these. But there's some serious synergy here with my picking up of Juggernauts, because remember, Juggernauts get damage reduction. And so I'm stacking up even more damage reduction. And that starts to be problematic for the rest of the lobby if you just get tons and tons of damage reduction. So, you know, if I can get up to Juggernaut 6, it's 35 to 50% damage reduction at Juggernaut 6. And then I get another 7% on top of that. So I can have as much as 57% damage reduction, which just makes these units really hard to kill. But of course, I have to get there. The other problem is I am not really hitting Juggernaut units. You might have noticed, not really hitting these. Grillo ended up hitting a Deadeye emblem for his gold augment, so now he's going to be able to play 6 Deadeye, which is very strong. It does mean you have to play 5 Deadeye units plus the unit with the emblem, but Deadeye units very, very strong, especially with the emblem. I might as well read the description for that real quickly too, because it's the beginning of the set here. Deadeyes gain innate +1 range. Every 3 seconds, Deadeye attack the enemy with the highest percentage health and deal bonus damage. So they'll just all attack the enemy with the highest percentage health every 3 seconds. Deadeye 6 is 140% damage added onto that. Plus you can make another unit that's not normally a Deadeye into a Deadeye, give them the extra range and all that jazz. So all of that sounds pretty good. So we do think that there's the potential here for us to get stronger. It's just that the issue is that other team is still win streaking. And in particular, it's that person, Bookworm, who has the little Teemo icon. They managed to get a Void emblem for their augment, for their second augment. So they're going to be able to guaranteed play Baron Nashor now. I did the video, I think the first video I put up on the live client was showing that, yeah, if you can hit 8 Void in this patch, it's really strong, and get Baron Nashor in play. All right, so I would have very much liked the bow, but the bow is not an option. It's gone, so I just take the Chain Vest instead. I'm still trying to get to Garen 2-star. Remember, I got a Garen from the initial minion round. I have not seen any Garens since then. But then one pops up in the store, so I was like, ah, okay. By the way, there's yet another Aurelia there as well. So there's my double champion duplicators. And I'm gonna, by the way, this is a send round, the gift round in the double up mode. And Grillo had the option to send me a spatula. So I was like, yes, please send me the spatula. And that's because Juggernaut is a craftable emblem here in this set. The formula is spatula plus chain vest. So you can make a unit into a Juggernaut that's not naturally a Juggernaut. And the team composition gets much stronger when you can do that because there are naturally 6 Juggernauts, and you can play up to Juggernaut 6. But normally you have to find Aatrox to play 6 Juggernauts. So yeah, normally you have to find the 5-cost unit Aatrox, but with this, I don't have to find the 5-cost unit Aatrox to play 6 Juggernauts. The other nice thing is I can turn a unit that's not normally a Juggernaut into a Juggernaut, and that is going to open up some additional possibilities as well. The key unit to make into a Juggernaut is Jarvan. He makes really good use of the Juggernaut innate bonus by making him much tankier. And of course, you want to play Demacia 3 for Garen anyway. So he's a really good unit to turn into a Juggernaut who isn't naturally one. Now, I am up against the player that's win streaking again. This is Bookworm here. This person already has managed to get 6 Void in so that they have the Rift Herald. And you can see it's reasonably close, but just can't overcome that board. Dealing with 4 Bruisers plus the Rift Herald this early in the game is just very, very, very difficult. But hey, we're doing a lot better than the rest of the lobby. The rest of the lobby is on 42 and 32 health. We're basically winning against everyone except that team. Now here's the other half of the gift round, so now I have the chance to send something back to Grillo. And he is going to, what is he going to send me here? I'm trying to remember. Oh, he just sends me another Juggernaut so I can get up to 4 Juggernauts instead of being at 3 Juggernauts. He sent me a Warwick so I could get there. Also, we want to use the send before the next stage begins. Now, of course, I end up having a Darius in my store, so he didn't actually technically have to send the Warwick, but oh well, it's okay. We probably should have waited until I had the chance to see my store. I do make a mistake, though, so I get up to 4 Juggernaut, but I lost Demacia, which means that Garen's no longer getting a Radiant item, and he really needs that Radiant item. He is so much weaker if he's not getting a Radiant item to boost his performance. So, yeah, that was a bit of a mistake. I sold the Poppy. I should have taken out the Karma. Karma was the one who's not really doing anything. She puts Ionia trait in play, but like I'm not playing through the Ionian units, so it's not really that significant. By the way, notice how hard it is to kill Garen when he gets low on health. Now that I have the 4 Juggernauts in, he is really difficult to kill because he gets all that additional damage reduction when he gets low. Can Karma survive long enough for Grillo to get here? No. And so that's just me griefing our team. If I kept Demacia in, I actually am pretty sure we win this. But yeah, when Garen gets low, he gets up to 35% damage reduction at Juggernaut 4. 35% damage reduction. I've also managed to find a Nasus, so that's good. And look, I can actually get up to 6 Juggernaut here. The one thing I'm missing is now I don't have Demacia in. And again, I need to get Demacia back in. So what I really need to do is level to 7, put Sona in, and then transfer the Juggernaut emblem from Irelia to a Demacia unit. So again, the best one there would be Jarvan, but if I can't find him, I need another frontliner. So I actually could put it on like Poppy if I can find Poppy again. Or just I need to find another Demacia unit. And aha, Galio's in the store. Galio, you will do. I wouldn't say you're the most ideal user for this, but you're solid, and that allows me to put in Sona. And there we go. This is what I want to be playing: 6 Juggernaut, 3 Demacia. Again, note that I could not do this unless I had the Juggernaut emblem. I would just be on 4 Juggernaut, which is a lot weaker overall. Now I'm trying to make use of some of my items, so let me just talk briefly about what I'm doing in terms of itemization. Garen basically has 2 core items. One of them is Rageblade. I had the Rod half of Rageblade from the beginning of the game, and I finally was able to get a bow. It dropped in the minion round, thank goodness, because I've been last pick on the minion carousels, which means it's been hard to get. It's been difficult to get a bow because they're such high priority. By the way, note that as Garen spins, watch his Rageblade counter. He actually does tick up Rageblade as he spins, so it's really important that he gets the Rageblade. It's one of his core items. His other core item is seen as being Bloodthirster. That's his other core item. I do not have a Bloodthirster on him. I went ahead and have a Hand of Justice on him. By the way, we do win this round and end the win streak of the partner of the Void player. Oh, by the way, look at this. Adrenaline Rush. Your Juggernauts deal 10% more damage, increase to 30% for the rest of combat when they fall below 50% health. Gain 2 Juggernauts. Hard to think of something that's a better fit than that for my board. I'm playing Juggernauts, and I got the Juggernaut Augment to go with it. I'm also going to send that Urgot that I was holding on to Grillo. I should have sent it the previous round, but I was fiddling with my board and came up short. All right, anyway, though, so as I was saying, Garen's key items, Rageblade, Super Core, and then Bloodthirster is his other core item. Bloodthirster is better than Hand of Justice because Bloodthirster will give him the shield as he takes damage. He gets I think it's when they fall to 40% health, they get a shield from the Bloodthirster. So Hand of Justice not quite as good, but I had the items for it immediately, and it would have been silly not to make that because Hand of Justice is probably like 80% as good, and I was able to put it on him from the first round of the game. So I do think that that was the way to go there. So if you're curious, what's Garen's third item? Well, his third item is the Radiant item that he picks up from Demacia trait. Oh, by the way, the that person Bookworm who's still win streaking, yeah, they've got the Baron in now. They're up to 8 Void already. They were able to find a Belvath. So their team has just basically found everything that they could possibly hope for. And like they have Baron Nashor in on stage 4 too. So yeah, at this point I was like, we might be playing for second place in this lobby because they're 8 Void 4 Bruiser on 4-2. That's just you can't really beat that at this stage of the game. Grillo was actually more optimistic than I was, and we were like, you know what? Our teams can definitely get stronger. I've got 6 Juggernaut. I can play into Aatrox in the late game. Grillo's going to have 6 Deadeye. He's just looking for an Aphelios. Well, he actually did find an Aphelios, but now he needs to find another Djinn so he can transfer his items from his current Djinn over to Aphelios. If he sells right now, he loses a 6 Deadeye. So our boards can definitely get stronger. And one thing about Void is it doesn't cap out super high. Now, if you have Baron Nashor, your team is, quite strong. Don't get me wrong. But it doesn't cap out quite as high as some of the other team compositions. So we're hoping that we can catch up to this other team and hopefully outscale them. Or alternately, even if we can't beat the Void player, maybe we can beat the other player. The other player is Zesty Ninja, who is playing the Sorks board, because we have not been too impressed by the Sorks board. By the way, one of the other teams is out of the game already. That team just, it didn't happen for them. So that's our goal: is we've got to overcome this challenge. We've got to climb the mountain and overcome this team that. Bookworm still has not lost a round yet this game. That's 13 consecutive wins here. So, yeah, that's going to be tricky. All right, well, we got another carousel round here. I would love the spatula because I could turn another unit into a Juggernaut, and I could cut another one of the weaker Juggernauts, but I believe that ends up getting taken by one of these other players. Yeah, so I don't have the chance to take that. The other thing I want the Aatrox, but I for whatever reason I just forgot the Aatrox was there, and I was like, oh, I clicked on the Nasus instead. I should have taken the Aatrox. That was a mistake. But Grillo's a great partner. Grillo was like, oh, you know what? I'll just go ahead and grab the Aatrox, and then I'll send it to you because he's got his send charged up again. And he's just going to send it to me. So I end up getting the Nasus and the Aatrox, although it does mean that our send is going to go on cooldown for a while. So Aatrox is the late game carry for this team composition. As I said, Garen's going to be the carry for most of the game, but Aatrox is going to be the late game carry because he is the 5 cost unit. He is Juggernaut plus Slayer, and then he has his own unique trait called Darken. So, by the way, here I am up against Bookworm's team, the 8 Void 4 Bruiser board, and I just can't deal with Baron Nashor this early in the game. Garen is very tanky with the 6 Juggernaut in there, but I mean, come on, he can't beat the Baron this early. We need more 2-star units, and honestly, I need the 3-star Garen. Look how long he lasts, though. He lasts for a long time on his own. But yeah, I can't deal with that this early in the game. I'm going to need Garen to be 3-starred to have a realistic chance at that. And my plan is I actually want to stay here on level 7 and roll for a little bit. I can try to find some units for Grillo. He just found a 2-star Darius, which he could potentially send me. There's going to be a 2-star Sona, so getting a little bit stronger. And I'm actually going to sell and replace that Darius because I want the Infinity Edge on Aatrox. He's just a much better unit. Okay, so let's cover then Aatrox. I'll just read his ability, which is called World Ender. Transform for 10 seconds when the mana bar fills up. Transform for 10 seconds, gain 15%. The cheat sheet just says 15%, so I don't know what that means. And convert all bonus attack speed to attack damage, while transformed attacks deal physical damage. Omnivamp. Let's see, and he has Omnivamp innately as well. I guess part of his ability is Darken, so let me go ahead and read that. This is the trait that he has, the unique trait. When Aatrox or the holder of the Darken Blade dies, the Darken Blade is equipped to the nearest ally champion, gaining them 400 health and 15% Omnivamp. After being equipped to a champion for 5 seconds, Aatrox will revive upon their death. So yeah, the Darkened Blade will like pass around from person to person. And with the way he has innate Omnivamp and with him having Juggernaut trait, he's going to be very difficult to kill. Anyway, here I'm going to go ahead and roll for the Treasure Dragon. Remember, we're guaranteed to get a Treasure Dragon. So let's go ahead and pick this up. So I mostly picked this up because it has a Zeke's Herald, and this team composition really benefits from having Zeke's Heralds. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll make Static Shift, which is not a great item on Aatrox, but it's kind of the best I can do here. And then I have the chance to make an Ionic Spark. Again, I'm getting all these magic resist debuffs, which are not actually that good because this team deals physical damage, not magical damage. But still, it's probably the best I can do. But the main thing I wanted there was the Zeke's Herald. And this is a team composition that makes really good use of Zeke's. They're in the guide for this team composition on LOL Chess. Or no, actually, the guide for this on Meta TFT, excuse me, different TFT site. The guide for that suggests just building like 9 different Zeeks for this team composition. That's not realistic, but that's kind of the suggestion, is just to build like a billion Zeeks. So anyway, I'm rolling a little bit here. I'm trying to find more Garens. We've actually had pretty lousy luck at finding Garens. We actually do have Garen 3-star between my double champion duplicators and Grillo having a 2-star Garen on his bench. So we do have this, but I'd like to see if I could find a little bit more. I'd love to save the champion duplicators for someone else. Keep in mind, they are lesser champion duplicators, so I cannot just double champion duplicator the Aatrox, which is what I would probably do if they were just normal champion duplicators. I'd be like, all right, Grillo can send me the 2-star Garen, and I can probably roll and hit that. Let's just get to 2-star Aatrox right now. But that is not an option because they are lesser champion duplicators. They only work on 1, 2, and 3 cost units. So anyway, I'm staying here. I'm re-rolling. So there we go. There's another Garen. And I'm still trying to fill out my board with a couple more of these 2-stars here. I could, of course, look to go... Oh, wait, I'm going to get... it's another gift round, excuse me. Well, Grillo was able to send me a Tactician's Crown, which is really nice. So I need to figure out what unit I'm going to play. I'm going to toss in Teemo. I was actually thinking at the time that Teemo is not a good unit to play, but he actually is. And the main reason for that being that I want to play Jarvan long-term. By the way, there is another Garen. So if I could find one more Garen, I would just double champion duplicate him at this point. But I believe that I stopped rolling around here. I can cut one of the weaker Juggernauts, and I ended up cutting Warwick as the one I chose to remove. I also could have removed Set as well, but I think that Set's a little better for what I'm doing here. Warwick is more damage-oriented. Set is a little bit more CC and tank-oriented, so I think that's maybe a little bit better. But it's kind of a judgment call. Either one is mostly just in there as a trait bot. Anyway, so once again, I've cycled back around to Bookworm, who still has not lost a round yet in this game, up against the Baron once again. So Garen is doing his best. He's still hanging in there. He just got CC'd by something on the other team. And again, it's not quite enough. We still can't quite beat this team, but we are beating their partner. We are beating Zesty Ninja here. And the other team is down to 1 HP, but we weren't quite able to knock them out. I think Grillo ended up getting 2v1 there. So here's the final gift round of the game. I had the chance to send Grillo completed item Anvil, Tome of Traits, and Reforger, or a spatula. I believe he takes the completed item Anvil because his board doesn't really do that much in terms of getting spatula items. So he does have the 6 Deadeye in. And he's looking to get there. He's trying to get the 2-star Aphelios. He's also on 7 actions, so we're getting close there as well. And there we go. There's Nasa's 2-star, so that's nice. And I'm continuing to roll here. I still have not found a Jarvan yet on this board, so I end up selling the Teemos to put in Slayer trait, which is not bad, not in the least. But I'm actually going to end up moving back into Teemo later on because I'm going to want to play Jarvan. Once I can find a Jarvan, I can replace the Galio with Jarvan. And then if I'm going to play Jarvan, Teemo would give me both the Strategist trait and the Multicaster trait for Sona. So Teemo is actually a useful unit to play in here. Teemo often shows up on Demacian boards because Demacia plays Sona and Jarvan, and then Teemo complements the two of them really well. By the way, there we go. Garen spinning to win. He's able to win that round. And it looks like now it is down to just the two of us in the lobby. So I'm going to go ahead and sell, and I will continue rolling here, looking for that last Garen. So Bookworm does win yet again. Still has not lost a round, by the way. That's 18 consecutive round wins in a row for this player. As I mentioned, just when you hit everything in a Void team composition, it's It's pretty strong. It's pretty strong out of the gate. But we do get first pick, so that's kind of nice. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Aatrox because that gets me 2 out of 3 Aatroxes. And then Grillo has a couple different options here. And my past self, hopefully, unhelpfully, is not showing this. So I actually don't remember off the top of my head what he took. But now I'm 2 out of 3 Aatroxes, so that's nice. There's Jarvan finally. So I was like, all right, I do in fact want to move into this because Jarvan is going to make use of the Juggernaut emblem better than Galio. Although I would have been on 7 Galios there, so I could have just looked to play into that. And now I have a Zephyr that I can move around wherever I want. So I'll look to do that, and yeah, I end up dropping the Teemo. I end up putting the Teemo back in because I belatedly realized that yes, actually Teemo is a better fit for this comp. As I said, I want to get multicaster in that allows Sonas to cast twice. And by the way, Sona, a very useful support unit in this board. Sona's ult in this set applies an attack speed buff to allies. Yeah, it does damage, but very minimal damage. The bigger thing is allies hit by the wave gain attack speed, which again, attack speed really important for this team composition. So that's very nice. And by the way, we are up against Bookworm here, but oh, I've got Grillo coming over here. Grillo already won his round, and oh, what's this? What's this? The win streak is over! Finally end that win streak because Grillo was able to win. I mean, I would have lost that round again, but it is a 2-player game mode, and we were able to work together. And again, speaking of the 2-player game mode, Grillo gets his send back. He sends me the 2-star Garen. So that allows me to make the 3-star Garen, which is going to make my board much stronger, 3-star Garen, as opposed to 2-star. And in addition to that, I still have my champion duplicators. So I still have double champion duplicators here. At this point, I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to use these on because I'm mostly trying to use, I don't really have that many 1, 2, and 3 cost units that need champion duplicating. But I'll find something to use them on before the game's over. I also get great value out of this Zephyr. I managed to Zephyr the Ahri out. Ahri is a 5-cost unit. In this current patch, she's one of the weaker 5-cost units, but she is a 5-cost unit. And the way her ability works is if she gets off her 3rd cast, it will basically hit the whole board and deal a lot of damage. Anyway, so I'm able to beat the Sorks team. So now I'm able to come over here. Do we have enough to beat the Baron team? It doesn't look like it. Baron is still alive. Garen is healing for insane amounts, but looks like Bel'Veth was able to get that one. By the way, that person is playing Bruiser Bel'Veth, so 4 Bruiser Bel'Veth, which again feels pretty good. And now I'm going to go to level 8, and then I'll spend the rest of the game rolling on level 8. I just want to get Slayer trait back in again to give the additional Omnivamp to Aatrox, and I'm really hoping I can find one more Aatrox for Aatrox 2-star. That would be a big find to get that. As far as Garen, in terms of what he got from going to 3-star, his damage goes up, number of spins increases. He actually doesn't get that much in terms of abilities. Looks like it's pretty much just his base stats go up by a fair bit because he's a 3-star. And oh, by the way, what's this? It's another champion duplicator. I now have triple champion duplicators here, all lesser champion duplicators. So I was like, okay, here I'm looking for a last item for Aatrox, and Titan's Resolve is going to be a great last fit for him. So I'm going to go ahead and put in Gwen. Now I don't need the Kled anymore. So Gwen, again, is just going to give me that Slayer trait. And here I'm going to pick up this Aatrox, and I can, Aphelios, and I can send that to Grillo. It's for Aphelios 2-star, so that's a pretty big one. And then I've still got the action, which we're trying to 3-star as well for his board. And then I still have all the champion duplicators that I have to figure out what the heck I'm going to do with. But my board has gotten a lot stronger. As I said, I now have Garen 3-star. I've got the Slayer trait and Strategist trait and Multicaster traits in. So it's really just a matter of can we cut through the Baron. This person does just have a 1-star Kaisa. It's a little surprising they only have 1-star Kaisa. Now, once again, I would have lost this round, but aha, in comes Grillo. And so we're able to win. And hey, look at that health bar now. We're at 42 and they're down at 19. So at this point, as long as we can keep beating the Sorks player, we can actually lose rounds to the Void player, and it doesn't really matter. As long as we can continue to win against the Sorks player, we're in the lead on health now. So that's all we need to do is stay in the lead on health. By the way, I should definitely pick up Sonas here. There's no reason not to pick up Sonas because I'm going to be rolling and trying to hit Darius here, so I might as well roll and try for Sona as well. 3-star Sona would not be bad at all in this situation because she's got her multicaster trait in. By the way, here I'm going to whiff my Zephyr. I was trying to hit the Ahri, but this person swapped to the other side at the last second. And the damage and attack speed buff goes up by quite a lot if Sona's 3-star. So I might as well be picking up the Sonas because it'll help me it helps me find Darius's to grab the Sonas. And I might as well grab the actions too because we're trying to get that action 3-star. In this fight, because I missed my Zephyr, I'm having some difficulty getting into the back line here. Looks like Lux was able to get some CC off. Again, I'm pretty sure I win that round, but again, it's a 2-player mode, so their partner comes in, and we actually do suffer a double loss that round. So that was a bit unfortunate. So it is still tight here. But oh, what's this? I'm going to hit the Darius and then Darius duplicators. And there we go. There's Darius 3-star. Now, Darius is not really a key part of my composition. But hey, just him being 3-starred is certainly not bad. It's a little bit unfortunate that my tank items, though, are on a 1-star Jarvan. So I was like, wait a minute, I have an item remover. I might as well make use of this. So we'll put our tank items on Nasus. The Juggernaut emblem goes back on Jarvan, but the tank items go on Nasus. So hopefully he's a little bit tankier than the 1-star Jarvan. And hey, look at this. By dumb luck, I managed to get my Zephyr on the Kai'Sa on the enemy team, who's probably the most important person to Zephyr. You cannot Zephyr Baron Nashor, by the way. Baron Nashor is immune to CC, so I cannot put my Zephyr on the Baron, which is what I would probably do if I had my choice. All right, this fight, again, looks like it's going to be a loss, but aha, here we go. In comes Grillo. Is this going to be enough for us to win this round? I think Garen got popped pretty early on in this round. Baron is down. Can we? No, Baron's not down. Thought we killed it, but so we go 1 for 1 in this round. We each win. Half of us win a round. Half of us lose a round. But again, we don't need to win every round because we've now got the health advantage here. So I said it before, as long as we can keep building the Sorks player, we should be good to go here. So anyway, we are second pick. I'm going to take another Zeke's. Grillo is going to take the Bloodthirster because that is another action. And I believe that gets him action 3-star from what I remember. And that is going to be a bit dip. There it is, action 3-star. That is a big spike for his board because, I mean, he's got the 6 Deadeyes in there. And then my board spikes as well. I find the last Aatrox. So I got 2 Aatroxes off of carousels. One that Grillo took off carousel and handed to me. Another one that I took off carousel. And then I found 1 in the store. So that's how you can 2-star a 5-cost unit, even when you're only level 8, is you keep taking these things out of the off the carousels. All right, now for this, I was up against the Sorks board. I was trying to Zephyr out the Taric, because they did manage to make a 3-star Taric to get some additional frontline. I actually whiff on the Zephyr. I hit the hit the Swain instead. The good news is Garen decides to Pathfind into the back lines, gets on top of Ahri right away. So that is excellent news. Once Ahri goes down, most of the damage is out on this team composition. So that's going to allow me to win. I want to win before their partner comes in, and was able to do that. So once again, the Void player wins again. But we were able to, and by the way, they're going to hit the Rek'Sai 3-star. But once again, they're down to 1 HP. We just have to keep beating the Sorks player over and over again. They actually try something really interesting. They move their Ahri up to the front row. Now, you're not going to see this because this is from Grillo's perspective, but they ended up moving Ahri up to the front row because that way Ahri would take some chip damage and she would not get focused by the Deadeye units with the Deadeye ability, because Deadeye hits highest percentage of max HP with the ability. By the way, here I miss Kai'Sa. I get the Vel'Koz instead, so that's not too bad. But would have been better on Kai'Sa. That said, it didn't end up working, and Grillo should be able to win this round as well. The question is, how do I do against this Baron board? Well, actually holding up pretty well. Look at that. We're cutting through. We got the Baron right now, so this is pretty close. I don't know if I win this round, but Grillo's going to come in, and with his help, boom, down they go. So despite the fact that the Void player won the first 18 rounds of the game in a row, it is a 2-player game. And I do think that we work together really well in this game to put our 2 boards together. The Juggernauts takes off when you get to 6 Juggernauts. It's actually not that strong at only 2 or 4 Juggernauts, but we were able to hang in there. Grillo kind of took me through the mid game. His Deadeye board was super strong in the late game, and 6 Deadeye was just blasting the back line. So this was a fun one. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, hope everybody's having a great week. Take care, folks.